Capricorn, what's going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. We are in the midst of a full moon in Capricorn. So usually when a full moon, or any moon for that matter, is in our sign, we have like an easier time navigating. This is actually a pretty nicely aspected full moon. It's not too crazy. Full moons always heighten and amplify energy. And yes, there is some tension, but there's a lot of opportunity for growth, for progress, and especially as it relates to like how we're showing up for ourselves. The main influence is Neptune and Saturn in conjunction, meaning on top of each other in Aries. And this is forcing us to learn how to trust ourselves better, learn how to trust what our intuition, our instincts are telling us, learn how to sift between what is confusion, what is illusion, and what is actually information and that we need, right? That we need to kind of help us navigate forward, make decisions that are actually make sense for our lives, that are actually in alignment with what we ultimately want. There's a lot of change happening right now because of Pluto moving into Aquarius. Pluto's also in retrograde right now, as well as Neptune. And then Saturn and Mercury, whoop whoop, are going to go into retrograde on the 13th and the 14th. So benefit, retrogrades slow things down. It gives us an opportunity to take our time and to reassess exactly what the astrology collective energy is asking us to do. That's also why I like to start the readings off with an energy cleansing. Just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out any blocks, obstacles, limitations we might be coming into. It's also a really good time to set your own intention, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you're interested in more of a realignment of self, mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're feeling strong and grounded within ourselves, when we know ourselves, when we're connected to our mind, body, and soul, that's really where we're manifesting that happiness, abundance, fulfillment from. And I would love to help support in whatever way possible. Capricorn, definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and, release it from our being, so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Ooh, thank you, Father God, spirit guides, guardian angels, mama love. All right, Capricorn, I feel like you are ready this week. You are ready for that change that I was talking about. Your energy feels like I heard very beginning, like finally. Like it feels like finally something's over. Finally you're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Even if there is a little residual, it feels like there's some type of finality that's going on for you right now that is giving you this level of, I feel like it's freedom. That's what I feel. Like maybe you haven't processed through everything quite yet, or you're still kind of in that daze of what has happened. Your energy feels a little jostled and all over the place. Maybe you're coming from a time where there's been a lot of communication back and forth, maybe even some fighting, disagreements, and it's kind of given you a run for your money is what I'm hearing. But it looks like you're getting distance from this thing this week. This is something that I feel like you have been anticipating. There's our communication card right there. just confirming. And yeah, it looks like you're getting some distance. I think this is good for you. I think you, like I said, you walking into this week, it feels like your energy is like, you know, breath of fresh air. I feel, you know, there is more to the story, and that's what you're looking at. I don't think you're completely in that zone though, because you don't want to put yourself back into that space of anxiety. Like, I think you kind of just want to enjoy the moment is what I'm hearing. Enjoy what was. Perhaps you're still feeling on eggshells, or as if I don't know, you know, and I think this is fairly true anytime we do kind of end something or close something out. There still is that residual, or like the reverberations of whatever happened. And I feel like this week you're kind of just waiting to see how everything shakes out, because it doesn't look like you're completely separating from someone. You have distance from them 100%, but maybe this is family or someone, you know, that you still have to interact with on some level. You have some dealings with, etc. So you're kind of wondering how things are going to go. Like, to me, it looks like you are taking that breath of fresh air. I feel like the full moon has kind of been the climax point for you, where everything has just kind of been, you know, building up. And then the full moon, it feels like you get a lot of release around that time. It looks like whatever you've been dealing with hasn't been feeling very steady. I feel like someone hasn't been a friend. They haven't extended that hand of kindness. I feel like you've had to kind of remove your energy from them as much as possible. It does look like they might have a problem with that, or are trying to fight you on that a little bit. Because it also looks like there's some hidden truths that are coming out. Expectations, or how they think it should move forward from here. I just feel like you're also in this space, like I said, you haven't really made sense of it. And so as you are, I feel like this week brings distance, but I still feel like there's more communication happening between you two before this distance happens. And that's kind of where you're just watching and listening to what's being said, what the expectations are. This person looks a little ignorant, blissfully unaware. I feel like they don't really see how much support you've given them. Maybe they've not liked certain things, but to the best of your ability, you're trying to, I don't know, your energy is very, I don't know how much responsibility you want to take on. That's kind of what it looks like, because you don't feel like, let me see what this person says, because you don't necessarily feel like you're doing anything like weird or vindictive. Maybe this is how this person's situation is making you feel. Blaming you, not taking ownership, accountability. Yeah, 100%. I feel like this, like, to me, this looks a little bit like someone who's stirring the pot just to get what they want, right? Like, it's someone who, like, maybe secretly, and it doesn't just have to be romantic. There's that devil card, 100%. But it's someone who's like, they don't want to do something, or they secretly want to break up or whatever, and so they're going to cause drama, start a fight, try to blame it on you. But really, like, their whole plan all along is to, like, get whatever they're trying to get out of you. And I feel like that's kind of where the confusion is coming into play, because whatever this is, there's not a lot of stability in this dynamic, or you don't even feel stable in yourself when you're dealing with this dynamic, right? It's like, to me, it's like everything on paper, or you feel like there's no reason it should be this way, but it is. And so I feel like in part you're kind of either gaslighting yourself or trying to convince yourself. They're also pointing the finger a lot at you, But again, it's so that they can kind of get what they want out of it. And I think that you're just waiting this week. Like your energy, like I said, it actually like looks really nice and pleasant. You have the Hermit, you have the Star, and the Empress, which is really powerful. It's like basically recognizing like, yeah, I'm a human. I might not be perfect, but I'm still open to hearing and listening to what you have to say and working on myself, getting a little bit better, etc. And you're showing up as the Empress, right? Like we don't have to be perfect to be in that like beautiful expression, embodiment of abundance. And this is regardless of what gender you are. The Empress is really just being able to like cultivate abundance no matter what, right? She just embodies that female archetype of nurture, support, surrender, restoration, health, well-being, etc. And she draws it to her. And that's how you're showing up. I feel like that's pretty beautiful. I feel like that's really powerful. And I feel like whatever this is over here, unfortunately, is just extremely superficial. It just, like I said, it kind of looks like someone who's just trying to get away with something while you're the one taking the responsibility. And I think you're kind of seeing this at the end of the day, because there is something about this where, I don't know, but this has been something that's kind of been happening for a long time. Yeah. And it looks like it's been something's coming out of this. And that's okay. So that makes a lot of sense where this Patience card is coming into play. Something's coming out of this, Capricorn. Like you're learning some information that I feel like is filling in the gaps for a situation that like previously either this person was telling you something different or trying to get you to believe something different, but it looks like something's coming out of the woodwork. And this is coming because they're being a little bit arrogant. I'm not gonna lie. Like they kind of think that it's like whatever they're saying, they're trying to hurt you, but they themselves are throwing themselves under the bus, right? They're actually just kind of like it actually just, self-sabotage is what I'm seeing. And all that does for you is like, oh my gosh, like that's exactly what I needed. Like this is that value of you knowing that something was off, knowing that something kind of smelled a little stanky, maybe not being able to put your finger on it. I feel like you had to go through this to understand, right? To understand, yeah. Sorry, unfortunately. But it's not, like I said, it's more relief. It's more relief. This isn't something where you're feeling like bummed about. I think it's actually, you're thankful because you're getting the confirmation that you need. 100%. Cards never lie. I avoid believing lies. Lies are just a trigger for fears, limits, problems, and emotions. When I ignore lies, my mind becomes more free and my life more fulfilled. This situation is banking on the fact that you will believe whatever lies they're trying to sell. And I feel like maybe you have in the past taken them at face value, taken them at their word, etc. And now you don't have to anymore, right? And now that you don't have to, the scenario is looking way different than what they were trying to sell it to be. I'm here to enjoy life. Remember that, Capricorn. I'm not here to suffer. I live in the present. I ignore attractions. I avoid distractions. This way, my life becomes full of love, peace, and gratitude. And I feel like, again, not trying to blame this person's situation for everything, but I feel like they sucked the fun out of your life, or maybe brought some stuff in that's just like made it chaotic and messy and not your vibe, right? Like just not, it's this part of you that has been more focused on pleasing them or keeping the peace or doing things with them. They're kind of just like engrossing you in their drama. And as you're getting the freedom, it's like, I wasn't happy. I wasn't having fun. This isn't really what I wanted, but I love this. I respect everything around me. I observe everything around me. I respect nature, people, and animals. When I am kind and accepting, I feel at peace and I respect within myself. That is the ultimate goal, right? That we can just let people do and be what they need to do and be. I feel like that's kind of where that release is coming for you this week, Capricorn, that it's like, done and over to some capacity. This distance is needed and well earned, and you're starting to see the holes, the disconnects in the story, and it is forcing you to just really enjoy your life, right? Make choices that are actually honoring to yourself. And you're doing so in a way of like letting bygones be bygones, right? Like, I don't see you stirring the pot any longer. I see you finding freedom, finding the opportunity to kind of push forward and reconnect with something in a way that like maybe has been a little bit lost or lost for a minute. So thank you so much for your time, energy always. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you found messages here that resonate for you. Definitely drop comments below. I'd love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support you bring to the channel. No, I'm sending it back your way.